A Chaebol daughter marries into the royal family but is poisoned. To protect his beloved wife, the regent king is willing to break traditions and rules, turning the palace upside down to uncover the truth. Heju and Li Wan hold a grand royal wedding, but as soon as they reach the main hall, Heju suddenly faints. The grand consort wants to summon the royal physician, but Li Wan insists on leaving the palace. From now on, no one is allowed to lay a finger on my wife. Filled with an unprecedented unease, Li Wan carries Heju into the car and heads to the hospital. Young Woo is equally anxious, ordering traffic control. The car must arrive at the hospital on time. Moments later, Heju is delivered to the hospital. Watching her fight for her life, Li Wan's eyes are filled with barely concealed sorrow. Soon, Heju's family arrives. The doctor reports that the test results show drug poisoning. An overdose could be fatal. Fortunately, emergency treatment was given, and Heju's condition is stabilizing. Heju's father, doting on his daughter, slaps Li Wan in anger. Li Wan, eyes sharp, promises his father-in-law, "I will not let this matter of Heju's poisoning rest." Young Woo, emotional, shouts at Li Wan, "The moment she becomes your wife, something happens to her. You couldn't even protect her for one day." But Li Wan makes his stance clear. He will investigate the royal family. "I hereby authorize a public investigation of the palace." After Li Wan gives the order, Jung Woo visits the grand consort, demanding that police be allowed into the palace. Immediately after, Jung Woo holds a press conference, publicly declaring that the Grand Princess's incident was not an accident, vowing a full government investigation to uncover the truth. Heju's older brother and sister-in-law remark on Jung Woo's boldness. It's the first time in history that the royal family has been investigated. After Jung Woo's speech, the National Police Agency and the Ministry of Justice become involved. The first to be targeted are all the staff at Li Wan's private residence. Everyone must undergo interrogation. Meanwhile, Li Wan contemplates before the spirit tablets of his parents. As a child, he greedily put on the clothes meant for the crown prince. Now, is he being too greedy to pray for happiness? Just then, a head court lady announces, "Her Highness is awake." Li Wan rushes recklessly to the hospital, to his wife. Seeing Heju truly conscious and safe, Li Wan, red-eyed, embraces her tightly as if he had found her after losing her. He thought he would lose her forever. Then Jung Woo arrives, informing them that the next person to be investigated is Li Wan himself. Li Wan orders Secretary Choi, "Before I return, stay by my wife's side every second." Then Li Wan tells the investigators, "The drug that caused Heju's poisoning is one I occasionally take myself." Li Wan is convinced, "I am the real target of the poisoner." Heju also realizes this. Learning from Jung Woo that she was poisoned, she recalls a small incident during the wedding. Because her gown was too heavy, she stumbled and fell at a table. Secretary Do, helping to put the glasses back in place, accidentally swapped the order of the glasses. It seems the poison was placed in one of the wine glasses. Despite Jung Woo's protest, Heju insists on going to see Li Wan, but is stopped by Secretary Choi. Jung Woo, resigned, tells Heju to stay put, and goes to see Li Wan himself. Outside the investigation room, a subordinate hands Jung Woo a personnel file. It belongs to a certain maid at Li Wan's residence, who was found suspicious during the investigation. Additionally, Jung Woo orders his men to immediately launch investigations into every doctor who has seen Li Wan's medical records. When Li Wan exits the investigation room, Jung Woo asks him and Heju to return to the palace immediately and leave the rest to him. Back at the palace, Li Wan orders the head court lady. From now on, Heju will live in Anhaedang, not the private residence. He wants to build a fortress to protect his wife. Late at night, Heju receives a call from Li Wan, telling her to return to the palace. To better care for Heju, Li Wan also brings Heju's sister-in-law to accompany her throughout the return. The sister-in-law remarks that even when sick, Heju looks beautiful, but Heju asks her for a powder puff. Online, people are spreading that she is a jinx, bringing misfortune to the royal family, so she needs to appear pitiful. Upon leaving the hospital, Heju puts on a haggard look, coughs softly, with weak eyes. Secretary Do plays along, having PR release a statement describing Heju as a tragic heroine worthy of sympathy. With the press release, public opinion quickly shifts. Heju goes from being called a jinx to being pitied and encouraged. The Grand Consort watches these comments, knowing full well it's Heju's PR move. A court lady presents this month's royal schedule. Due to the sudden incident, the duties originally assigned to Heju as Grand Princess will be redistributed. The Grand Consort gives a faint cold smile. She is willing to take over all of Heju's work. When Heju arrives at Anhaedang inside the palace, the Grand Consort personally greets her, pretending deep sisterly affection, telling Heju not to tire herself but to rest well. Learning that the Grand Consort plans to assist the king with his records, Li Wan thinks for a moment, then rejects the request. He cannot allow the Grand Consort to interfere with the investigation or dominate the political situation. Regarding Heju, Li Wan makes meticulous arrangements, from medical facilities to the deployment of court ladies, demanding that everyone be extremely cautious. "Can I have a moment alone with you?" After the staff leaves, Heeju finally relaxes, lying lazily on the bed. Then she expresses concern. She thinks this poisoning incident was aimed at Lee Wan, but Lee Wan speaks calmly. If the poisoner's target was you, I would be worried. But if it was me, I would be relieved. As long as you are safe, anything is fine. Heeju, red-eyed, hits Lee Wan with a pillow, but tries to sound tough. If something happened to you, wouldn't I become a widow? Lee Wan smiles. Now you belong to the royal family. No one dares to harm you easily. Besides, you have me. The Grand Consort receives word that Lee Wan has refused her request to handle Heeju's duties. Just then, Prince Impyong requests an audience. Regarding the poisoning incident, Prince Impyong has sensed something amiss and hints that the Grand Consort should be careful. As night falls, Heeju turns to see Lee Wan wearing a bathrobe, his abs showing, walking toward her with a smile. This is our first night after marriage. Are you ready? Heeju's eyes dodge, her pulse racing, but Lee Wan isn't eager to do anything physical. He simply lies down beside her on the bed. Heeju places a pillow between them, but Lee Wan pulls her into his arms. Heeju doesn't resist. After a moment, she asks if she should turn off the heart monitor, as the beeping sound is constant. But Lee Wan refuses. That sound is proof that you are alive. Heeju can't help but kiss Lee Wan. Lee Wan kisses her forehead in return, holding his wife tightly, refusing to let go for a moment. The next morning, a head court lady calls Lee Wan to wake up. With one arm still around Heeju, Lee Wan uses his other hand to send a message to Secretary Choi. Do not wake my wife. After a night's rest, Heeju's condition improves greatly, but she discovers that Lee Wan has assigned Secretary Choi to her, wanting this experienced secretary to help Heeju through the royal transition. Secretary Du, meanwhile, has been made Lee Wan's assistant. He wants to know everything about Heeju. Today, Lee Wan is going to his alma mater to present scholarships, and Heeju will give the opening speech. Before leaving, Lee Wan picks up Heeju, but she complains that he's dressed too somberly. At his wife's request, Lee Wan changes to white, matching Heeju's outfit. At the alma mater, when Lee Wan hears Heeju still call Jungwoo Appa brother, he forbids her from addressing him that way. Soon, Heeju takes the stage to deliver her speech, encouraging students to set goals and pursue their dreams. But then a commotion breaks out in the audience. A group of reporters storm the venue, accusing Heeju of deceiving the public. It turns out that the marriage contract between Heeju and Lee Wan has been leaked. Facing the reporters' relentless questions, Heeju steps back, her face full of confusion and anxiety. Suddenly, Lee Wan steps forward, standing firmly in front of Heeju to protect her. What are you doing? Look at me. End of episode. Please like and leave a comment.